order for Wednesday, December 18th, 2024 at 9 a.m. Number 2, please stand for Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Number 3, roll call, starting from my left.
Adkins here.
Gabriel here.
Asdell here.
Baker here.
All righty. Number 4, Regina, please certify posting of the meeting agenda.
The agenda was posted on December 17th, Daily Tribune, 8:25 a.m., Town Hall, 8:39, Nakusa Port Edward State Bank, 8:35, and Quick Trip, 8:42 a.m.
Thank you. Number 5, can I get a motion to approve the agenda, please?
I'll make a motion to approve Adkins.
Second. Baker.
Discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. Number 6, elected citizen comments. Anything, Regina?
No.
We will dispense with number 6. No action contemplated except possible referral to future agendas. Number 7, information updates, meeting recaps, current events, and announcements. Brad?
Only thing I have is the Lake Sherwood fishery on the 18th of January, and so far we've got awesome ice. Hopefully it lasts. It's coming up. And I did do I don't know if you want to cover it here. Alex and I went and did a visual inspection of the dams, wrote up a bunch of items that are known items, but no response from the county as far as, taking any action on them. So we formalized a letter to Colton at the county and did get a response from him that they're going to look into all the items and see what they can do. Nothing really impactful as far as like integrity on the dams or anything like that, but just some issues that need to be addressed and can fairly easily be addressed by the county to take care of. So
Good.
Was this something new to the county? Were they not aware of it until you sent this letter?
well, when we do each time we go and check the dams, which is pretty much daily, there is a online spreadsheet from Adams County that we fill in what the levels are, what adjustments we make to the dams, and there's also a comments section where we're to fill in things that we notice that need to be taken care of. It seems like ever since Megan left the county, because she kind of maintained that it just, nobody even looks at it there. So we've brought that up a number of times to both Kiefer, and I think it was brought up to Colton, that there's this spreadsheet that they're requiring us to fill out that they need to be looking at to see what's going on there. So I'm hoping that with this letter that we sent to the county, that it's going to be a little bit more attention be put on that. So that's
Hopefully,
it.
yeah. Good. Good, thank you.
I have nothing at this time.
The county has a new corporation counsel. She's starting today. Her name is Nancy Tome. There's a meet and greet for her down at the county courthouse today. Other than that, I have nothing.
Mark?
Nothing.
I got a few things, of course. One, we did get the grant for the Clean Boats, Clean Water program, so that's good to go for another year. Just a reminder to the board, the Lakes and Rivers Association meeting symposium is going on March 26th, 27th, and 28th. So if you want to go, we'll have Regina sign us up. I'm going to go. Mark's planning on going. But anybody else on the board or you folks out there, of course, we're not paying for it, but it's open. So it's open now. The early registration's open, so it is a reduced rate. The other thing was on the tax issue. You saw the stuff going on this week. I talked to Cynthia at length on Friday and then Kim on Monday. Ours was pretty simple. She was working off the sheet that works with our multiple properties, and that was about 200 people in that on that form, and that's what was sent down, that was what was requested, that was what was sent down, and that's what they billed the tax on, 200 properties instead of 4,730. So it was just an error on a part down there, for whatever reason. We had it straightened out pretty quick. However, it opened my eyes up to the whole function of these multi-properties. There's two ways you can combine properties in the county. I'm not totally familiar with both of them, although I did mine, 2 properties into one. I only pay 1 tax bill. Mark did 3 into 1. He pays 1 tax bill. We have 200 people that combine properties, and they pay 1 tax bill, but they have additional properties on there. It's a multi-lot charge. I did a lot of digging on it. I spent time again with Cynthia on Friday. On Monday, I was working again with Kim just to make sure everything was understood properly. She had it down pretty pat, but what I noticed was we have 2 different codes in there, 52 and 55. Code 52 is all the single properties, all the parcel numbers. 55 is the additional properties that don't have a single parcel number. And I started looking at it, and the totals were 224,000 on the code 52 and 10,000 on code 55. And I talked to Kim, I says, our budget's 224,000, not 234,000. I said, something screwy here. Then I started doing some digging, and I handed out to the board, and there's copies up here. I went back and looked at the last 3 years of our budget versus what was collected, and sure enough, every year, we collected more than was budgeted. And that's a quirk in the state statute, because the statute requires you to either combine your parcels one way or the other. If you do it one way, you'll have 1 tax bill, because there's only 1 parcel. But the multiple properties are still listed separately on the form, on 1 parcel. So it's really goofy. Mark and I go down and talk to Cynthia and see what's involved in letting these 200 people know that they can combine it separately, get them into 1 parcel so they're not paying the extra charges. We don't need the extra funds. We have our budget, and we'll stick to our budget. So I think it's only fair to let these folks know what they have to do to correct it, and we'll find out on February, and then we'll let them know to go ahead and get it fixed. In the meantime, there's really nothing else we can do on it. It's state statute. I did read up why they did it. It's, let's say you have 80 acres out there all owned by 80 people. You got 80 different taxes going in. So if it's $100 a lot, it's $100 times 80. If they combine them all into 1 lot, the one way, there's only 1 bill going out, $100 for all 80 lots. And the state recognized that you're going to have a great loss of income. That's why they did it. Took a while to find that, but that's the meat of it. So we got it figured out. I do have a copy up here of 1 parcel here. They combined 4 lots into 1. And if you go onto their site and look at it, you'll see that they have 1 charge for 52 and they have 3 charges for 55. And that's why. So we can get it fixed, and I think we should.
Carl, I think we should probably send some type of notice to those 200 entities and let them know why they're getting that other charge, just to let them know.
Let's do it when we have some answers. I mean, we got to let them know, yes. But they've been doing it for years.
Yeah, this is something.
This is nothing new. It's been since day one.
Yeah, they've always, these people, originally how it was explained to me is, when this happened, there were people who didn't, let's say they own 3, they're not always even right next to each other, but they would get tax bills for 3 or 4 properties, and they didn't want, there's a certain amount of people, they didn't want 4 separate bills. So they requested to get them all on 1 bill, so they still get the 4 individual Tri-Lakes charges, they just not getting 4 separate paper bills. And so the only way that comes off of my master list is when they legally certify survey map, combine them, and then they get removed from that list.
Yeah.
And you're saying there's another way then that they might be able to get rid of the 4 charges if they own.
Just that one. I mean, they have to recertify their lots into one parcel.
Right.
Because again, we send out bills for all the parcels. We got 4,730 parcels this year. Technically, it's 4,930. Difference of 200. So that's why there's an extra charge. In the last 3 years, sure enough, it came back positive, 10,000, 13,000, 13,000. That's why. So at least we know. Now we can get it fixed. I was going to have the attorney. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. I was also going to have Nicole look into it, but we don't need to. I will talk to Nicole and let her know what we're doing. All right, anything else, any questions on any of that? It's pretty complicated, but actually, it's, I understand why the state enacted that, but it just doesn't make sense. All right. Number 8, 14 Mile Watershed Alliance, anything?
Yeah, just a couple short items to share.
Dave, can you, I think that's on. Does it work? Oh,
There's no
Oh,
mic.
there's no.
never mind, just scream then.
Anyway, we had a meeting last week. Our directors finished a strategic plan for 2025. And so we're gonna review that one more time with our directors, and then we'll put that up for public comment and also comment from our various partners, so be looking for that. Also at that meeting, we had a very interesting presentation on 14 Mile Watershed history by Michael Gock. We collected donations at that meeting for his organization, Adams County Historical Society, so that was nice that we were able to raise a little bit of funding for that. Very interesting presentation though. We recorded it, and we'll be putting a link to that recording on our website as soon as we have that ready to post.
Oh, cool.
Questions? Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Number 9, Harvester update.
Well,
While you're
between,
here.
yeah, I'm back for a while. A couple of things were brought to my attention from Gina that got contacted from inland that the boat is finished. Now they're just waiting for a spot for paint. So it's what Gina is in January. Sometime we may be getting that boat back.
Insurance did cover everything,
Yeah.
right?
So that's good. So it's done. Waiting for paint, and we'll get it back, and then we'll store that. So I don't know what is in the way in the shop in that spot.
Okay.
She said there's a queue of machines that have to be
Oh, I'm
painted.
sure.
And it's in the queue and will be done sometime in January.
Perfect. The other thing is that we got down in here the weedo. Carl put this little thing in there, and it looks cute.
To be honest, I didn't know the price on it when I sent in for information, and when it came back, but this is just strictly for discussion. I don't know if it makes sense or not, but the neat thing I saw in this, and it wasn't on their site, is it does go down a channel, it's got a bucket, it's got
Yeah,
some kind of
it's-
sieve in it, it lifts up, it'll take the algae out and dump it just like a dump truck. And I
It's
saw
like
that.
a skid steer on water.
Yeah, basically.
is what it
yeah.
is.
And
And,
it'll also cut weeds. It's got all sorts of attachments on it. So just think about it. I did send it on to EOR and Jay, and I talked to him. I says, see if it makes sense. I don't know if it does. It's expensive.
Yeah, it's what it was on the website. It was $98,700.
Yeah.
You know, like
It's basically
For
another
20
weed
for-
cutter, though. But the neat thing is, it's a shallow draft.
Very.
It'll get in shorter, closer to shore where we can't get in places, especially on the light, weak bay. So
I think what that machine is would be perfect for contractors who cannot or afford a large harvester.
Yeah.
You know, and can't, and the harvester's too big
yeah,
to do what this little machine can do. You know, and as far as
It's a small harvester.
well, yeah,
it is a
another-
small harvester. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, how much is a small harvester?
Another
similar
another
to-
200,000.
Another 20 grand we can get, or thereabouts, plus or minus, and get another number 7
Small one. Yeah.
small.
The big
machine.
ones are 200 with a
Oh,
trailer
yeah.
nowadays.
So, you know, and I just wrote some
Just throw it. Just look at
pros
it.
and cons,
No
and,
decisions.
on this thing, you know, and
Yeah.
as far as where it would be, no place to store it, and like I say, as a skid steer, you have to dump this thing, dump whatever you got on the shoreline, or
No, you could dump it right in the your trailer. He can come up and it'll dump it. It's just like a front end loader on
There's
top
a
of
lot
it.
downtime for that though, too, then.
Yeah. Well, he goes over wherever you're at. They can work in the same area, same lake. And the other thing is,
you got to have the harvester following you around, or harvester's got to be close by, so you can take whatever he's got and dump it in the harvester, and
either way,
you know, and you're taking. time
comes in
away
its
from the
own trailer too. You're
Yes,
done
it
the day,
does.
you just haul it right out.
It does have its own.
Something to look at and chew on. So we'll see if EOR comes up with something or whatever. Just some thoughts. Anyway.
Other than that, I don't have anything. I get all my information from either Gina or Mike. Mike's been handling it very well in my absence, so
All right.
appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yep, you bet.
Number 10, district update.
All right, we had a awning damage by harvester in summer, and it finally came back, the bill. The bill was 184, but the damage caused by Tri-Lakes, because there were multiple holes in this, the one caused by Tri-Lakes is costing us $52 to repair. So if you
Okay.
approval, I'll pay that bill. They gave me all the documentation at the office. Also, Ed Marino from Zax has been working on, and he's still working on trying to get the final bugs out so the bookkeeper may access our
Oh, yeah.
our programs remotely. He's not charging us anymore. We paid him, but he's having to come back a couple times to try to figure out those final. And it included he had to buy a new Wi-Fi router, or we had to buy a new Wi-Fi router so that we had a VPN.
VPN.
Yeah. And then I'll be having the audit, that 1 day long audit with the auditor, either the 23rd or the 28th. I'm not at the office, so I can't, but it's always a Tuesday,
Yeah.
and it was one of those 2 dates. So, and you already reported that we received the grant, so that's it.
All right. And the, yeah, that was it. Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Anything from the county?
Yeah, couple things. Last night, the county, let me back up. In November, the county denied funding Heather Gayton's position. The issue was brought back again last night. They had found out that if her position was not reinstated, that the county would owe the DNR $17,000 because the grant wasn't fully completed. So they approved her position for the next 8 months to 2025. So they're hoping that during the budgeting for 2025 that they can budget funds to make that a full-time position with the county.
Okay.
Okay?
And they did ask if we were gonna, we were gonna honor our commitment. We did commit to, for the whole 3 years, so, I mean, we've already signed off on that, so that's not an issue from our end.
And that's all I have.
And Heather was supposed to be here today.
Yeah, she sent me an email, I told you about it, get her on the agenda.
Yeah.
I thought she'd be here, but she's not.
Is she on our mailing list?
Well, email,
Yeah.
she got emailed to her.
All right, thanks. Number 12, town update. Tom?
Nothing.
Number 13, update on EOR permit with WIDNR. I'm still waiting on 3 more home sites, email addresses, and sign-off sheets. That's it. And then I talked to Jay the other day, and I'll get those into him. I guess I just have to go knock on doors. We've tried a few other things, but haven't gotten through yet. So we get those 3 paperworks, and then he'll get the permits going and get them set up. So we're almost there. Number 14, update on Lake Sherwood sites and containers. That's it, pretty much. We did get the containers delivered. Everybody see them. They're over on 8th Avenue. They're 2 20-footers instead of a 40-footer. We met with Mark? Yeah. No. Who was it from? Craig from,
Right.
Greg from Econ, yes. About getting the electric hooked up. He seems to think it's pretty simple and straightforward, so hooking up the 480 shouldn't be much of an issue. He'll do that in the spring. That's pretty much it on there. Anybody questions on that? Number 15, discussion on grant opportunities. I want to bring forward, again, grants. I did have Jay look into that one, NFWF, and they do want a 5,000 feet to apply for the grant, and he said the probability there was kind of slim, so it didn't make sense. However, I found more grant opportunities on site. There was a USDA grant I just found out was given to the ATV club. I thought, well, if they're getting grants, there should be more out there. So, also in the USA grant.gov or something like that, that site's got thousands of grants on there. So we're going to start doing some more research on this and getting some of this approved. On Monday, there was a conference call with Governor Evers. I was on that call with workout groups, and I did list all the people with some of their stuff, most of it minor. But I brought up the lake issue, and I brought up the costs, what's involved, what we're looking at. Told them we have 2,000 lakes that are dying, basically. And it's not just going to cost a few bucks. I mean, we were spending $3 million, but that's just a drop in the bucket to fix the lakes in the state of Wisconsin. I also filled out a form and submitted that to the governor directly, so we'll see what happens there. Keep our fingers crossed, but that's something we're going to keep putting pressure on the legislators and the whole state, because the lakes are the lifeblood, basically, of the recreation business in the state. So it's very important. So we'll see what happens there. All right, number 16, approved minutes from Wednesday, November 20th, 24.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Number 17, approved vouchers and financials. You've all got the report there. Now it's coming, we're getting actual product out of our system, our Sage system. It's got the income statement, it's got the year-to-date, all the information's on there, so I don't have to do that other thing anymore, but it's got some really good information on there. I did have a question, though, of why we're still short $64,000 from the county on special charges, so I'm going to talk to Nicole, have her do some digging in there. I might also call Kim when she calms down a little bit, find out what that shortage is. Again, every year on the special charges, we're always over. You look at the sheets on there, we're over, so this shouldn't be under it. And it can't be charges that are, what do you call them before?
They're moved, my understanding was, after a certain date, and I'm not a property owner, but as you pay your taxes, there must be some date that they have to pay by this year. Anything after that date, they move whatever's left over to, delinquent.
Delinquent.
They moved
That
it
doesn't-
to a
that-
different category of
That doesn't make
delinquent.
sense, because if that were the case, then the assessed values would also be delinquent, but they're not. The assessed is right on the money. Your tax bill has both of them on there, so you're either delinquent or you're not.
The other one, she explained to me years ago, we get paid, the one that I get
Used
paid
to.
for in full, we get paid no matter what in
Well,
full.
we used to. They used to pay us on the front side. Now they held back and they were paying us as they received the funds. So that, if there's delinquent, there's going to be delinquent on both ends. But in any case, I'll give Kim a call, and Cynthia, and maybe have Nicole look into it and see why there's a shortfall there, unless there's still a check coming. Maybe it comes after the fact. I'll talk to,
Not historically.
well, historically, yes,
No, I mean,
it's always been over.
Yeah, the
So-
red folder you see historically, that's what that looks like every year,
Yeah.
those payments that I gave you.
But Kevin's always had us over and above on our audit, so he's getting some information that maybe we don't have, but we gotta find out why there's a discrepancy there, so. Other than that, everything else, in my opinion, is looking good. Any other questions on that? Okay, can we get a motion?
Well, I have, under discussion still,
Sure.
check number
Either way.
20651 for Hoffman Trucking for $550. I'm assuming that was to reconfigure the pad
Yes,
from 40-foot to make it the two 20-footers.
yes.
Who's paying for that?
We did for now. We'll be bringing it up with Chris, because that was something they changed on us without telling us.
Right, so I would think that they would be responsible for picking up that tab of $550.
Yeah, I would too, but we'll talk to them on that.
And I have
Maybe just deduct
one
it.
other question on the EOR bill, the recent bill for $8,543. When Jay submits his bills, he's got professional 1, 2, 3, and 4, the number of hours that they worked, and the pay rate that they're making for that bill, or for what they did. Who is professional 1, 2, 3, and 4? I would like to know who that is. And secondly, what did they do for those amount of hours to make that amount of money? What did professional 1 do? Was it all computer work, or was somebody out in the field? If at all possible, I'd like to see his bills be a little bit more detailed so that we kind of know where the money's going.
Maybe itemized, drilling down a little bit rather than.
Yeah, a lot of, I mean, it's different forms of folks that they have working for us. The people making doing all the testings are at the bottom of the scale. Jay's at the top. He doesn't bill us for travel time, but he does bill us for conference calls, calls with the DNR, calls with other people, calls with us even. And that's basically their bills. We can ask for a little more itemized on it, that's not an issue, but
Yeah.
it's been pretty typical, and he's been, when we've asked him about it, he's been pretty forthright in where it's all
Yeah,
coming
I know
from.
some of his bills have been very, very large amounts, and, I still think that we should know what all these people are doing that are earning that kind of money.
Yeah, and they're also, keeping in mind, they're also paying these fees for inspections.
Well, and that should be part of the bill then.
It is. It'll be in there. If you look down the bottom on the bills, it'll be explained in there. 'Cause we had, one of the fees was $25,000 cost for doing the testing down at Madison, so they just keep adding up. We've spent a great sum of money on this, most of it to the DNR, but it is what it is. We can ask them to go ahead and itemize some more, so. Anything else? And get a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the vouchers and financials.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. Number 18, discussion and possible action, purchase of truck for harvesting operations. We need to revise this. Instead of a 2025, I understand it's a 2026 at a lower cost, but we have to put
No.
bars on.
Originally, it was quoted out as a 2024. We're getting a 2025, and the price of the truck was $200 less than the 2024 was, but it doesn't come with the running boards.
Okay.
Obviously, we need the running boards to get into the truck because it's up a little bit higher. The cost of the running boards are $700. They would be put on once the truck was delivered to Johnson and Sons. So the total cost for the truck would be actually $58,200. And I think there was $57,750, or was we need an extra $500 for the truck to amend the purchase price with an additional $500.
Any other questions on that? Get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the extra expenditure for running boards on the new 2025 truck.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. Thank you. Number 19, discussion and possible action, dam operation expectations, Alex and the job duties. I think we already passed all this, but Mark and I are going to talk to them today, just make sure we get everything lined up. We are going to put him in as a contractor instead of an employee. We're going to discuss the financials with him, and then down the road, I was trying to push Krug to get us an increase in funding for that. We pay $10,000 a year, or we pay him $10,000 a year, Alex, and then we receive the $10,000 from the county. Technically, nothing more, nothing less.
We technically don't give him 10,000 because we also have to pay Brad.
Oh,
The 10,000 includes paying Brad when Alex can't work, and then some
Yeah,
small,
yeah.
very small administration.
if there's a, yeah, if he's not doing it funding right, so. But we'll get that all cleared up today.
So you get $10,000 from the county for this, for dam
Yeah,
operations?
and we'd like to see a raise on that, 10% would be nice. They haven't touched it since its inception.
Okay.
Anyway, we did pass this before that we're gonna put him on as a contractor, so we don't need a vote on that. Number 20, discussion and possible action, 20 units deliveries and added storage container and possible extension of current container. We've paid half of the other 20 containers, and I've held off, not containers, but the units, NEO units. I've held off on setting up any delivery because they don't have a cabinet for them. And it's my intention, and if the board agrees, to let Moyer sit on them until they come up with some kind of cabinet function. When we looked at it, the price was way out of line. We were at $5,500 before we even looked at the other issues on the machine, because the sides have to open up and all that, and the stainless was up there. So supposedly they're working on it, and then also Chad from Lakes Restoration is working on a thing. Hopefully they can come up with something. I did talk to another group of local folks, I guess they're down out of Chicago, and I sent them information, but I haven't heard back from them yet, so we're gonna wait and see. I don't want to take delivery on them because they're not done, in my opinion, not ready. So, any other thoughts on that?
That's,
Plus, we'd have to take another storage unit.
that storage unit we have now, I think we took it out for 6 months.
Yeah.
And I think we're gonna need to add on to that 6 months?
Probably, yeah.
How full is that unit with the 10 that's in there?
It'll take another 10.
About 3/4 of the way full, and then the buoys that were pulled out of the lakes are in there too.
Yeah, but we got, yeah, there's plenty of room, there's space in the back there, because when we started putting it in there, we didn't go all the way back, so. But it won't take another 20, that's for sure.
We rented that unit, I think, for 6 months when we
Yeah.
first arranged it. I don't know when that goes through, March maybe, but we may have to rent that for several more months.
While you're talking about this, storage containers and et cetera, the 3 workers that you've hired to take care of the different functions for the small nano bubblers, are they able to still work on a harvester in the summertime?
Yes. Yeah, their duties and with us would be nominal. We figure it's gonna be, 10 hours a week maybe combined, so.
After
Combined.
The installation, though, I think the big
They're-
kicker
yeah.
is the installation.
Yeah.
Getting them installed and then up and running.
Yeah, but that's before the harvesters even start operating, so we're talking April.
Yeah, because one of the fellows, Dan, he was cutting for us for 5 days a week, and they're trying to find somebody to, even 2 or 3 people to cover that 5 days.
Yeah.
Is kind of difficult, so.
Yeah, well, the next section, we're talking about project manager. He's offered. But again, that's limited. It'll be extensive in the early spring
Spring
and the
and
late
fall.
fall. Yep.
Yep.
Summertime, it's gonna be moderate. It's gonna be pretty much a set schedule.
Okay.
All the units have to be monitored and filters adjusted and changed, and that's about it. So again, it's gonna be divvied up by 3 of them or 2.
Okay.
So I had some other thoughts on the project manager. Again, Dan did mention it. He hasn't applied yet, but if anybody else is still interested, we're still looking. We've got everything covered now for the fall. We're good to go and ready in the spring, so. If anybody's got any other thoughts on that? So, okay. We'll keep discussion going on that. Dates and items for future agenda meetings, number 22, next agenda items. Anything additional to here? Can we come back to the county and see what they come up with? I know their budget's done. We were trying to get this done last June, July. I talked to Scott about it, raising up the fee for the dam inspections and things, but with all what was going on down there, it just didn't happen, so if we can circle back on that and see what's going on.
January 15th is who's next.
January 15th?
Would be the 3rd Wednesday.
Okay, I have an issue with the 15th, just so you're aware of it. I have a public safety and judiciary meeting for the county. Is it possible to either move the Tri-Lakes up a week or back a week to either the 8th or the 22nd? If that doesn't impact your calendars too bad?
We'll have to check with the town here to make sure the room's open, but I don't have an issue. Anybody else?
The 8th would work for me, if that's,
Okay. Virginia, can you check on the 8th?
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Anything else? If you think of anything, send it on. Any questions from the gallery here? All right, can I get a motion for adjournment?
So move.
second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion's carried. We are adjourned.
Yeah. The other guy's name is Gene something. He's from over on Norwich Court on Lower Camelot. I don't know. I can't remember what Gene's last name is. I can ask him. Yeah.